everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Fashion Grunge podcast. I am your host, Lauren. And guess what? Mike is here again.
I'm back again for the third time, fourth time.
Yeah, I think so, right? I think it's third. But I guess we're only doing scary movies on this segment because we've done like Scream. Oh no, this is the fourth because we did Scream, we did Go, we did I Know What You Did Last Summer.
So this is the fourth one, yeah.
And yeah, this is the Blair Witch Project.
This is my favorite genre. Like honestly, horror is just like Halloween is my Christmas, right? And horror is just like the top cherry of the pie of even if it's like really stupid, I love it and I embellish in it. And
I know it's kind of funny. I do not like Halloween, nor do I
don't understand
like horror movies, but I like slashers.
You do.
What did you say?
Oh, I said I didn't understand why you didn't like Halloween, but
I just don't.
I don't know. I mean, some people take it to a darker place, but
I guess so. If you're Michael Myers.
Oh, we should do Halloween. Oh, weren't we going to do Halloween H2O?
We're going to do Halloween H2O. We're also going to do The Faculty at some point, just so we can talk about Josh Hartnett in two different horror movies from the 90s.
Wasn't Nick Stahl in that too?
No. Nick Stahl was not in The Faculty or Halloween H2O. He was in Disturbing Behavior, which we also did that I forgot. God, this is the sixth one now that you've been on.
You must like me.
I do. Everyone likes you too. And also, we have an episode on Disturbing Behavior too, so check that out. That Nick Stahl is in that. And yeah, like and subscribe. I always forget to say it, but I'm at the top of the show. I'm going to say, leave us a 5-star review, write us a comment on Apple. It helps. So yeah,
just
do
really
it. Exciting.
Do it. It's amazing.
Yay!
I love all your podcasts.
Oh, thanks. Well, you're on half of them, so it's cool. I just like talking about movies. This is so fun, you know?
I mean, who doesn't like talking about movies?
Yeah, right? I have a hard time naming this episode, but I guess it's always kind of a surprise when I do name it, because there aren't very many quotes in Blair Witch. So I have two possibilities. So I won't tell you what they are, but you'll have to see. But I have two different things I'm trying to choose from. But yeah, we're doing the Blair Witch Project from 1999. If you have not seen it, which you maybe you haven't, because it's kind of a weird one, go watch it. It's pretty good. It came out in July of 99, and it's directed by Eduardo Sanchez and Daniel Myrick, I think.
I think that's how I have it, yeah.
Myrick. And I think it's like written, edited, and directed by those two guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, they do a lot.
Oh, they were all hands-on.
Yeah, exactly. So what are your first thoughts? Like, when did you first see this?
So
we were teenagers around this hype train that was around for this film.
Yeah, and just kind of like I told you in our last podcast, like my mom and I would always watch like movies every once in a while. Like we'd go together. So again, I took my mom, or my mom took me rather, and of course, Screaming commenced, and like I knew about it from the Blair Witch website.
Yeah, that's what was
I was already freaked out because just like everybody else, I thought it was real, right? And
it's in our area. This took place like near where we grew up. So
Burkittsville, Maryland.
Where
that is. I don't know exactly where that is.
What?
Burkittsville?
Well, it's in Maryland. I mean, it's like
Maryland,
close, you know, like it's in the same state. So like where we went to school and everything, so it's clearly not that far. So it's kind of weird that this huge national film became centered around these like missing people from a college. It was supposed to be Montgomery College. That's supposed to be like where they were going to school, the students in the film. Yeah, so it was like, oh shit, we really thought these kids from MC like went missing and in the woods, and we're like, what the fuck? And there was like a website, and then it was like they found these tapes, like, which could totally happen.
Oh yeah, I mean and even nowadays,
I'm scared as fuck now. Yeah.
Side note, I was so deep involved in reading everything online that I was using my mom's computer at the time, like the year before, you know, it came out. And that's how I discovered AOL Instant Messenger, because it was like 11 o'clock at night. Mom's like fast asleep. I'm reading all this stuff. All of a sudden, her AOL Instant Messenger pops up. It's like one of my mom's neighbors. She's like, "Oh, what are you doing up?" Like, freaked out as fuck. I'm like, what the fuck? Who's watching?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was a nerd.
So what was up with her? She was just like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, and then I was like, "Oh, this is Mike. Oh, hey, Mike." Blah blah blah. We started talking for a little bit, and I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go back to this website now."
Oh, I gotta go read about this.
Right, pretty much. And I was just so deep involved in it, and then
Yeah, because we were
you
what,
know,
like 16,
yeah,
16, 17,
yeah.
like something like that. Yeah.
And I mean, I knew it was fake, like maybe on the 11th hour before watching the movie.
Oh, really?
But I didn't know exactly everything until that's why I love doing these podcasts with you because there's just so much of all these movies that I didn't realize.
Yeah, same. It's
You know,
cool.
so I love it. It's fun research.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
It's really cool.
like it the the only thing I didn't like, and I love documentaries,
Mm-hmm.
not as much as you absorb everything.
Kind of.
Which is great, which is good. I'm not saying anything bad about it. But I get motion sickness sometimes.
Oh yeah, this was pretty intense. Yeah.
So because it's recorded by like 3 different people, it's like constant, you know?
The camcorder style. It's
Yeah.
so light. The camera's so light that it just moves like with your hand, like
Yeah,
when you
right.
move it. Yeah.
And I mean, like we talked about that on another podcast where it was like we did our own little scream thing, and when I had a camcorder.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as involved, obviously, but I did feel scared still watching the movie because that's how you're supposed to feel. Because you're
Yeah.
supposed to feel claustrophobic, even though you're outside in the woods and it's dark. And there's moments of the movie where it's like completely black.
Yeah.
And you just hear the voices.
Yeah, it's like the one thing that I really like about it because I don't like things that are I don't like things on possession. Like I'm not big onto movies about possession and like ghosts and like I'll never watch those like what is it like Annabelle? Like that movie about the doll. Like I don't watch shit about like people dolls. Yeah, Chucky, no. I don't watch Saw or like Hostel or any of those like really like gory. Although I did watch that one with you. What the fuck was that? Where those kids were at that it was like a theme park. We watched 2. One was like
it was like Horror Fest. Yeah.
Horror Fest. And then we watched that other weird one where those people were like stuck in this weird like sick serial carnival shit, like in the desert. Was that a Rob Zombie movie?
31. Oh,
31,
yeah. It was like Hunger
fucked.
Games, but horror.
Yes,
yeah.
But it was like, yeah, that was fucked. But like those, like they're just gross to me. I feel like that's what they're trying to do, though. I mean, they're trying to like.
Which I get it. I mean,
yeah, I totally get it.
Zombie. I mean, you can't expect anything less.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah.
Totally. But movies like this freak me out even more because it's all psychological and it's stuff that you don't see.
Yeah.
So like it really freaks you out when they're not giving you the answers. You know what I mean? Like they're not telling you like, oh look, here's the scream guy in the mask, like, you know, chasing after you. This is like they're all starting to slowly turn on each other. Like you're just like, oh shit, this is probably what it would be like if I was lost with my 2 friends. I mean, eventually like you'd start to break. Yeah, I mean, like when you were walking in circles and you're just like, fuck.
Well, your motive, your original motive of being anywhere, it like just gets lost in translation, and then you only have the other person to cling to.
Mm-hmm.
And that can go so many different directions because that other person might not want you to cling to them.
Or, I love how constantly throughout the film, Josh is just screaming at Heather, like, turn off your fucking camera. We're not making a movie anymore. Like, we're fucking lost. Like, is she still, like, just trying to steadily film everything? Like,
even herself in the mirror. I mean, she even said at one point, like, oh, this is all I have to cling to.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Like,
this is all I have.
Left. Yeah. I was like, God.
She was obsessed.
Yeah, she was.
I didn't realize. Oh,
that's how she survived. I think.
Oh yeah,
it was like her obsession with the story.
But watching it again, I didn't realize like she's a bitch from the get go. Like,
oh yeah,
very self centered, very like confident, which I appreciate your confidence. But
yeah,
she pisses those 2 off, Mike and who's the other one? Josh. Sorry.
Now I think it seems that in the beginning she is friends with Josh and Mike is Josh's friend. Like Josh asked Mike to do this project.
That's right. Yeah. Because they meet.
She doesn't know him. Like Heather doesn't
Mike
really
in the
know
beginning.
Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just like, oh, hey. And he's like, and then I think they fight when they have that fight, when he like kicks the map in the river, like Josh is like almost fighting Mike, like they're getting physical. He's like, this is not why I asked you to come up here. Like, this is not why I brought you up here. So they're clearly pretty close if he like invited him up for this project because he knew it was going to be like really cool or something. But man, my first thoughts on it are, let's see, I saw it. It's funny that I totally forgot I wrote here that it's supposed to take place in October of 94. Like, I keep forgetting that, but it doesn't matter because I feel like the time that it came out, 99, it was kind of like a similar time too. Mm-hmm. But 94, I was like, oh wow, I forgot that it wasn't supposed to be like 99. And then I did have the DVD when I lived in LA for some reason, and I did watch it occasionally, and then I sold it because I had to move and I couldn't bring it with me. So I did have it on DVD at some point, but I don't anymore. And then I first saw it when I was in high school, but I did not know that it had been outed as being fake. Like I don't think like you told me or anyone else that I knew at that time. I just think I probably escaped, and I just knew like it was like this big hype movie, but I was like, oh, whatever. I watched it, and then when I was like, holy shit, is this real? Like, I don't know. And then I found out that it was fake.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, because even in the early stages of the IMDb page, when you look up the actors, they're in parentheses, they were listed as missing or deceased. So that adds to
they really
Oh, they marketed the shit out of it.
Yeah, that's I think what made it so viral was that people were just so curious to see this film and they thought this really happened.
Oh yeah,
super nuts. Man.
I don't know. I mean, like I saw there's 2 sequels and then there's a game that came out last year, and then there's apparently some books written by authors not related to the 2 guys that wrote the thing.
Mike's a trooper and actually watched the 3rd one the other day. Did you finish it?
Yeah.
Is this the one that's just called Blair Witch from 2016?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it made money though.
Oh yeah. So I'm not going to go into it, obviously, because we're talking about the first one.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like they eradicated the second one, and then
the second one
it was supposed to be like 15 years later. The younger brother of Heather, was looking for her, and brings like 3 other friends along.
God, could you imagine? That would be cool if it actually was a story and was filmed exactly like this one.
Like,
totally. Could you imagine if it was like another set of found footage and it was like you saw Heather in it, and like it was, and you actually saw like the girl who plays Heather, and you're like, holy shit, she's alive, and then there's all this crazy shit, and then like it's kind of unravels just like how the first one did.
I mean, the 3rd one is shot exactly how the first one is, like with all the camcorders and everything like that. But
does it seem more big budget though?
Huh?
Does it seem more like big budget than the original one? Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a little less because like the first one has, you know, how it's like half black and white and then half color.
Yeah,
this one has like more color.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's the only real difference. But very like low budget. I didn't even look up like how much money they made or anything like that.
The budget is $5 million, so that's pretty low.
Oh, for the 3rd one?
Yeah, for the 3rd one. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. I also have a note that says, "Was Josh in on it?" ? There's several times throughout the film that he asks Heather, like, "What do you think that was?" Like he just, I don't know,
in that coy kind of way. Like,
yeah, but he asks.
I didn't even think about that.
More than like once, he keeps asking, and then he like one of my favorite scenes, I guess we're jumping ahead, but just to touch on it, one of my favorite scenes is when Josh is like looking through her video camera and he's filming Heather, and he's like, I see why you carry this around now, because it's like distorted reality. It's like it's kind of not what's really going on, and like you're trying to see it through, like you're not trying to really understand that like we're lost out here, and like you essentially got us lost, and you're not owning up to it, and you're just kind of like, whatever, I'm playing around doing your camera. And I was like, yeah, that's so, but it's just weird that he like, it's almost like he's leading them in a certain way, and then it's weird that he's the voice that you hear. And then there's something, I think I wrote it down when I got to my more plot notes, but that was a question that I pondered, that whether or not he was in on it, or if like he had some kind of other part to play in it instead of just like a victim.
I didn't take it that way. That's cool. That's
Yeah,
that's
if you watch it again, like listen to look at how he reacts to things. It's very different than Mike. Mike gets, and Mike always tries to find the humanity. Like Josh always fights with Heather, and Mike's always like, "Yo, like let's stop fighting. Like we have to be civil to each other." And then when Josh has that breakdown, and Heather's like, "I'm trying to go," and he's like, "Just let him sit there. He's losing it, man. Like he's fucking losing it. Like you can't force him. We all have to get along. Like we're stuck out here." And I have so many questions. Like, what the fuck are they eating? Because how many days has this been?
Well, they I mean, other than that one scene in the grocery store, I didn't see them buy any more food. But like,
no, that's not that much food.
Yeah, I mean, what, a bag of marshmallows? I saw a granola bar at one point.
Yeah, Vienna sausages.
I don't know. Maybe they started eating berries and stuff. Maybe they hallucinated the whole thing.
They're all hangry.
I mean, right? And out of smokes.
Totally, yeah.
Because they kept repeating, like, "Oh, we need more cigarettes."
I know. They're like, "Does anyone have a cigarette?"
But
I was like, "No, we're out." It's like, God. Okay, what are your behind the scenes notes?
So my behind the scenes are... Well, okay. Let me start off by saying this. So the story of the Blair Witch, right? Originated from an event that happened in 1785, where a woman was accused of not only being a witch but supposedly bleeding out several children of the town of Blair, which is now called Burkittsville. She was banished from the town, and then another man years later started like offing kids. Like, what was it, 1940s, and then blamed the Blair Witch for like possessing him.
This is real?
And so forth. No, well, supposedly, so that was like on the website and everything.
Okay,
but this is all fake. This is totally fake. This is all fake, and I'm sorry for spoiling it for those who haven't seen it. But these two people, these college kids from Florida who made the movie, who wrote the movie,
Eduardo and Daniel.
They elaborated this whole entire thing. But they the brainchild of this whole thing was that like they saw footage of like paranormal activity.
Oh, just in general.
Like
film shit, yeah.
Yeah. And then they started like looking up witch lore and stuff like that. So they created this whole entire thing. So my question, and I hadn't found it, was, and I know I'm kind of branching off. I'm sorry, you asked me behind the scenes stuff. But if they're from Florida and they created everything, why hone in on Burkittsville?
I know, that is really weird.
I really couldn't find anything like connection of why that place out of everywhere.
Yeah.
And then to even ruin it more, most of the film was in a couple of different places. Some of it was in Burkittsville, some of it was in Germantown, and then some was filmed in like Seneca Park. Yeah,
like in Montgomery County.
Yeah. So I'm just like, dude.
Yeah, it's so super close.
Right. But
and they used MC that they went to Montgomery College. That's where these kids went.
Yeah.
Which is really weird too, because that's a real school.
Yeah, I mean, Harvard on the Pike. I went there.
So funny.
But going back behind the scenes, I said, so the movie hit theaters worldwide July 1999, but was first premiered at Sundance Festival the same year in January. So it was a very quick turnaround because they really wanted this to get off the floor, you know?
Yeah. So it just got lucky at Sundance?
Yeah.
Is that like someone saw it and they were like, yes.
Well, Artisan Films, who do the Paranormal Activity series.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They paid for it. They paid $1 million. What does 1.1 translate into? $1.25 million?
Yeah. No, 1.1, 100,000.
Oh, duh.
$1 million, 100,000.
So they paid for it, and then
we're not mathematicians here, people.
the opening week, right? So professional. The opening weekend, they made $250 million.
That's the opening weekend? No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
fucking shit, man.
Well, that's where this one. That's where I got my source.
Damn. Well,
Yeah,
we're not like ABC News. We're not like some fucking news or organization. But damn, that's so insane that it made that much money, and they literally only got $1 million for it.
Oh yeah.
So they couldn't have gotten much more. They probably couldn't negotiate it because they weren't like big filmmakers. So they would be like, "We're not paying you."
This was an indie film, technically. So yeah. But what also the directors didn't tell the actors was that some of the townspeople were actual townspeople, but some were actual actors.
Oh no way, Mary Brown.
To the story, Mary Brown. Yeah, I can't remember her real name at the moment. And I just looked her up last night. Something cacao. I don't know, but apparently she died in 2007. So poor Mary Brown. This one's for you.
Oh, R.I.P.
Horse Fair.
Oh, she is pretty awesome. Patricia DeCoux.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But then, sorry, I'm almost done. They have at least 20 more hours of footage that they cut out and made into a 90-minute movie. So hopefully at some point they'll release it.
But that we've never seen.
I'd be really interested, not to be scared or anything, just to see what else they filmed.
Yeah, me too. That's kind of cool.
And then the last thing I had was that a lot of the public was very disappointed that the actors were actually still alive after.
What? Really?
Yeah. So I was watching this review on YouTube, and Heather Donahue, who is Heather in the movie, she was like, "Oh yeah, people would yell at me on the street, like, what? We don't like you. Go home.
We don't like you. Go back to the woods.
Yeah,
we thought the fucking witch got you."
But it was really interesting to find out that people hate that you're still alive. Okay.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty dark.
Yeah,
that like real people are like wishing you dead. Like that's pretty dark, man. That's nuts.
Not like, I'm glad you survived.
Yeah, thanks.
Something heartfelt. You know?
Yeah. Good Lord.
But nuts. I mean, I know that was a lot, and I went off.
No, that's not even that much. I thought we were gonna be like I remember hearing, these are just things that I heard back when this came out, that like the cast and like the way that they filmed it, like they would get a map of like where they were supposed to be going, but they actually were at some points lost. And like the director and the two directors were like nearby, and they would like make those sounds that they would hear, and then they would like rustle the tent at night, like, you know, when all that shit was happening.
I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that they had like kind of a loose idea of like where they were going, but I think at some point they were lost. But I don't know. This is what I heard. I mean, who knows? I don't know. Like,
I would totally get lost. I mean, this is how nerdy I was. I was never an outdoorsy person. I wouldn't be that guy crawling the tree or playing soccer.
Yeah,
so, I mean, I went camping maybe once and I hated it.
Yeah, I've just been a few times. I don't want to go now though.
Nope.
Now people have like, I don't know, they like hunt and shit. Like, no.
Oh yeah, I know, exactly.
Like, yeah, no, I would feel sketched out about it now. But yeah, okay. So I have just the plot points and some story questions I have. When it starts out, it just feels so real. Like from the start, because it's all very like discombobulated, and she's just like, you know, like, oh hey, this is my friend, and like we're doing it. It's all this like dumb shit, and you're like, okay, is the movie gonna be just like this girl's real life?
They're packing the car and
like all this like boring stuff. Like I was like, oh, and then picking him up, and then all that kind of shit, and going to the grocery store, and it was all kind of weird. So then jumping into like actually what was happening in the story, they parked the car and they're like, okay, we're gonna hike to this like coffin rock place and like film this wherever this like legend thing happened. And then I think it's like after they camp that first night, and that first night Josh hears cackling. Now this also plays into my was Josh in it, because Josh is always the one who talks about what he heard. And like he's the one I feel like who always like hears something weird, like because he was like, no, dude, I heard cackling was a
Yeah,
definite
he's always
cackling.
the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's a definite cackling. I mean, I don't even know. Maybe this wasn't even true. Maybe it happened to be written like that. But it's just like he's just like, okay, I heard, and they're like, what? And they're like, oh shit, man, if I heard that, I would freak the fuck out. Like if I heard it, he's like, no, man, it's definitely something weird's going on. Like he's the one that kind of initiates that there's something weird going on, and they're just like, okay, whatever. So they film the shit, and then they're like trying to go to like a cemetery, right? That she heard about.
The one where she's like acting really serious and everything. I think that's the cemetery in actual Burkittsville.
Oh no, not that one. There's
right?
supposed to be like a cemetery in the woods, like after
Oh,
they park the car,
yeah.
like after they go to that rock, that's where she's trying to go, and that's when they get lost because they never make it. Because she's like, I know there's supposed to be a cemetery here, and they're like, dude, let's just get to the cemetery and let's just go. Like, and then that's when Josh kind of says, like, there's some people here. They obviously don't want us here. Like, I don't want, like the second night they hear like fucked up sounds, and he's like, dude, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like, blah 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 blah. So then I have like Heather gets them lost, and the boys love proving that she's wrong. Like throughout the whole film, they're just like, admit it, you got us lost out here. You don't know where you're going. And she's like, no, I know exactly where we are. I have the map, and this is where we are. I was like, oh, this bitch. I was like, she's literally gonna get them killed. Like she's gonna get them killed. Totally. And then as of crossing that river was pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
Just have like OMG.
There was definitely some funny parts, which
Yeah, and there were definitely some really funny conversations. Like, oh my god, I wrote piles of rocks in the trees. Holy shit, I would lose my shit when those piles of rocks like the next morning, and they're like, and she's like, oh, are you sure that they weren't? Oh no, I think Josh is like, are you sure that they weren't here before? And she's like, I'm pretty sure that we did not pitch a tent like in the middle of like perfectly placed rocks like around us. Like I don't think that I did that. And then it's a really funny conversation at night by the fire where they're just talking about like random shit like Gilligan's Island. And they're all talking about like the captain. Yeah, the captain. And then he's like, actually it's the skipper.
Right.
And they're like, oh, they all start laughing about it. I was like, the first night that they hear shit at night, this is when shit's getting real. And I said, Josh seems suspect about it, always asking what she thinks. Like, he's always asking Heather, like, what do you think that was? Like, what do you think it is? Do you think it's this? Do you think it's that? And she's like, I don't know. I just know I got to get it on film. And she's like, running out and like trying to get everything on film. Then I wrote, raining all day. This is when they're going back to the car. Caps lost.
Yeah.
Like this is when it goes in, and this is about 30 minutes into the whole film. The film's only like an hour and 20.
Yeah.
And this is when like psychologically like they start to break. Like now they've kind of accepted that she's gotten them lost. And this definitely has to be choreographed somehow, because this patch of woods can't be so big that if you were walking all day, you would meet something, right? Like these woods are not that big. How dense are they?
See, and I wish I had looked up a map or something to
exactly, see. Yeah, like where they're supposed to be, because this is. I mean, there are mountains up there, but it's not like the fucking Rockies. I mean, it's not like a place that you can be lost like forever. It's like near Appalachian or something. There's got to be like a trail, somewhere.
Although, and like I said, I'm not going to like tell the whole story of the third movie, but like. In the third movie, they use what are those things called? The little robot helicopter?
Oh, the drone.
The drones. They use a drone, and it actually, because they go to the same exact place, it looks huge.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
So
maybe I did remember that. Really so, big. I don't know. I mean, wherever they really were in real life, like, who knows? But it from that drone, it looked like a huge piece of land. So.
Well, it's weird too. I think the map was like kind of strange, like because remember they're like asking her about like map check, and then they're like, "Well, where did we start?" She's like, "Well, we started off the map." I was like, "What?"
Did they not learn anything from Hansel and Gretel?
They're literally so fucked. And my most 90s moments in all these films always have to do with technology, because my most 90s was like camcorders, so 90s, and like following a paper map. Because now people would have like GPS.
Some drivers I've seen out the side driver side, I've seen people use like pull out maps. I'm like, oh, cool.
Well, no, it's good to know how to read one. I mean,
Sure. Yeah, I never learned that skill, unfortunately.
GPS can go down in the
Oh,
event of an
oh
emergency, and
yeah.
like you'd be fucked. Yeah, like it's not like a fail safe, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, 30 minutes in, psychologically, okay, they're starting to like go a little crazy now. This is that crazy intense night where they have like the black and white camera when you see that scene where she's in the like the sweater, it's in the
Oh yeah.
trailer, and
Mm-hmm.
like the hat, and then it's just like you hear Mike like whispering like turn that light off, turn that light off, and then you just hear like all this like weird crazy shit. I was like, oh my god, and I wrote like I would lose it, and like they're just running,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, why are they running in random directions at night? Like you're gonna get
I would
fucking
just
lost.
stay in the same.
Yeah, like you're gonna
place.
get fucking lost. But that tent started to move.
That's true. Yeah.
When the tent
It
was like
starts
moving and
shaking.
shaking, I was like, oh my god. I like already I started to lose it. Then the next morning they wake up and it's like 3 piles of rocks like right outside the tent. And
Is
they're
that
just like
when the things are hanging, or is that the day after?
no, I think that's the day after when they get to that like stick farm
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's like way after.
Oh, okay.
And then like Heather's still filming, and Josh is like, "Yo, I want to leave," and they're like fucking with my shit and like all this kind of stuff. I think that's when they stay out wherever they were until morning, and they come back. And remember, Josh has all this like weird slimy
Oh,
shit
it's like yeah,
on his
all
back,
over
and it's only on
equipment.
his, which is also kind of strange
Yeah.
that it's only on his back. And he's like, how come I'm the only one that has this weird jelly shit all over
Right.
my
Even
shit?
she's like, why did they point at you, or why did they target you? Whoever.
Yeah, why did they target you? And I was like, oh, jeez. I was like, he's in on it, Heather. Like, he's gonna disappear. Just wait. Because he's the one who's fucking doing all this shit.
Yup.
Like, so I was like, and then, yeah, he wants to leave. Josh is like, all right, fuck this. They're fucking with our shit. They don't want us here. Like, let's just go. We walk this way. Like, let's just go. And then that's when she's like, I can't find the map. The map's always in my pants, and I can't find it.
And then they
like,
blamed it on her. And
yeah, then they're like, yeah, I fucking had no idea what we were doing, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when Mike threw out, like,
I threw that fucking map in the river 2 days ago.
and then it's probably the funniest bit of the whole thing where, like, Heather's just screaming, screeching, like, what the fuck's the matter with you?
She's making so much noise at this point.
So
Just like,
much noise. I was like, wow. They're probably just standing off, these people, like, the witch or whatever, is, like, standing off to the side, like, what a bunch of fucking
right. I don't know if I want to fuck with her or not.
No, she's annoying. Like, I don't know. And she does the same thing when she at the very end when she's like running. When she's like, Mike!
Oh, before they hit the house, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, while they're in the house, and he goes down the basement, and
Mhm.
she's like running, and she's just screaming his name. Like her piercing scream is just so like screechy. Like,
So the house, according to this like fake folklore now, is supposed to is one the guy from the 1940s that apparently his name. Shit, I can't remember. It was almost like Rasputin or something. But he supposedly, with this folklore that was written for him, took like a bunch of kids and took one kid by one, put him in the corner,
yeah, that's right,
and then killed him.
And that's what
what one of the town guys said. Yeah,
yeah, that's right. So one of the townspeople said, which was like so crazy. Okay, so Mike threw away the map now. And then it says, this is when they get to the stick yard, and Mike is the one who finds it because they're like walking, and then he's like, hurry up, get the fuck up here, it's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hurry up. So then she's like getting the camera, and then it's like the fucking creepiest shit ever. All those like stick figures like hanging around.
Dude, it was so funny yesterday. Sorry, side note. I went with a neighbor to a garden nursery yesterday because she needed some pots and stuff. And they actually had like hanging wood things that reminded me. I was like, Blair Witch. And she's like, shut up.
Oh no. That's so scary.
It was so weird because it was like this place was like really cute outside, but it also looked like this like Anne Heche's house from Disturbing. From I Know What You Did Last Summer. So I was like, watch, Anne Heche is gonna come right around the corner, and she's like, shut up.
As Buffy is just like, it's in the sticks. When they're like, where is it? It's in the sticks. Listen to our episode, and I Know You Did Last Summer, because I think we talked about like how insane Missy or whatever her name was.
Yeah,
it was like Missy. When they're in that stick yard, Heather's like filming like crazy, and like Josh is like, all right, let's go. We filmed it. Let's get the fuck out of here. So this is like, so they're obviously in a new place if they've gotten to that stick yard, because that wasn't around like where they were before. This is the night that they camp and they don't light a fire. They're like, let's not light a fire like the last 2 nights.
Draw attention, yeah.
Yeah, to draw attention to us, blah, blah, blah. So they're like, we didn't see anyone following us. Like, we should be okay. And then this is the night where they're like, all lights off, turn all the lights off, like the camcorder, like everything. And then it's like they heard a baby scream.
Oh, yeah. Like there's so many children's screams. I mean, obviously folklore stuff, but yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, WTF. Then this is when they're hiking throughout this day trying to get back, and they reach the same log. And then you're like, oh my God, like they're going in circles. Like they've literally just seen the same log. And then they just like, then Josh is like torturing Heather, where she's like standing at the edge of that tree and he's like screaming. He's like,
oh, and he's like pushing the camera in her face.
Yeah. He's like, you're lost in the woods. That's your motivation. Some scary witch is leaving shit out of your fucking door.
I think
you're freaked out. You're gonna die. Oh, that's your motivation. And she's like screaming, and she's like, no, stop.
I think that's when I really felt bad for her, just at that one moment, you know, where I was like, okay, I know she's a bitch. I know she's like self-centered, but I was just like, stop doing that. Stop ganging up on her.
Yeah. And then I wrote like, that's an after that I wrote Mike tries to keep the humanity. He's like, we can't keep fighting like this. Like, you know, like we have to depend on each other to like get through this. Like, you know, we can't just fight. Then I have more of my like funny notes. What have they been eating? Are they out of water? Like, I don't see anyone filling anything up. Yeah. Like, it's been like 2 or 3 days. Even like a mention of a power bar would be nice, because I feel like that's just a little bit unrealistic. But I guess it was so heightened tension wise that I didn't think about food when I first watched it. That was just like a funny thing. I never, how many days was this supposed to be?
No, but like, I mean, it's like nowadays we're like, while we're watching this stuff, you got to think about that. Like,
yeah, it's true.
How realistic?
Yeah, it's true. It's totally true. And then how many days do you think this was supposed to be? How many days was it from when they left?
I think it was actually almost a week.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 nights.
5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah, because there was a few nights.
But random. But where were they originally? Like just near Montgomery College, I guess, in a neighborhood? Or
I think so, yeah. Like Gaithersburg. It looked like
it was, okay.
Maybe, yeah. Like the suburbs.
And they just, okay. No, I know that was random. But
yeah, no, and then they drove like into the mountains.
Into the mountains, yeah.
And remember that one woman they asked, they were like, oh, do you know about Blair Witch? She's like, no, my sister went to Blair High School.
Oh, right. The girl, the waitress.
Yeah. She's like, but I don't know, like, if that's the same. She's like, my sister went to Blair. Blair is like a big high school around these parts. So yeah,
even though it changed its name, it's still Blair High School, I guess.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Blair. What did it change to?
No,
isn't it Montgomery Blair?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Then this is when that night, then they wake up and fucking Josh is gone. Yeah. That's when I kind of lost it. I was like, oh shit.
Then it becomes a little more real, and you're like, oh, they're losing people.
Yeah, and then I wrote they have so much battery power, and they mentioned that
they look like they didn't have to change anything.
No, I was like, how much tape do these motherfuckers have? Like, they were only supposed to be there for like a weekend,
right?
Like then it was really funny because as they were driving out there, Heather makes it a point to say like we have enough battery to like power a small country.
Oh, for a month. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, well, that's really weird. And then I wrote, are they never running across any animals? Question mark.
Right. Like you hear stuff.
Yeah. Like what about deer?
But,
like there's really no animals at all in this whole, that's what I find kind of unrealistic, but that's just like, random. Well, then I hope like,
go ahead. Sorry.
Then I have like, they hear him screaming in the night, OMG, Josh. And that's when I think they run out of the tent.
Yeah, and they're like Josh, is he fucking with us or something like that? And
yeah, like Josh is in on it. He's fucking doing it.
He's like yelling and yeah.
Then I said when they find go on.
Oh no, sorry. I was gonna speak about. I was gonna talk about like animal stuff. So like the only time I did go camping, I went with our friend Reed. Right, long time ago. We went to. What was it called? Assateague Island? I don't know where.
Oh, yeah, with all the horses.
Yeah. So, forgetting about the horses and everything, that one, our first night sleeping, I think he noticed like the horse movements and everything. He didn't say anything, and I freaked out because they were like right next to the tent, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Oh shit!
And then when I woke up, my head was in like a puddle of rain, water. So I was like, "Okay, I'm done. I'm good."
Damn, that's pretty insane. I've been camping a few times. We did actually get lost one time I was camping. It wasn't nearly this dramatic, but we didn't like psychologically break each other down. But I was really young. I was like 13. It was cool.
I would
Yeah, it was cool. Cool. I like it. I mean, I like camping. I think it's fun. I've camped for like like a week and a half. I think is the longest time I've been camping.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty cool to be like out that long, like to be away from like the comforts of a house. Like it's really strange.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh God, when they find that weird shit, what is it? Is it blood? And is it his tongue?
Yeah, a part of his tongue, and I think a few teeth.
Ew.
Yeah.
That
was like wrapped up in a part of his shirt or something.
A part of his shirt, yeah. And then I was like, she finds it alone. Does she tell Mike?
She doesn't tell him, but he keeps asking, like, "Are you okay?" She's so shook.
Yeah.
That she's just like, she didn't say it, but she's just like, she's struggling to breathe. And she's like, "I'm okay, I'm okay." I don't remember her actually saying, yeah, because I saw it twice. Yeah, she didn't say it. She didn't tell him at all.
Yeah, which is really weird. Then I have the compass is on her now. It's like around her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like really like crazy about it. Like she's like, when she was holding it, it was like, my precious. She was like grabbing it, like looking down. I was like, oh, some Lord of the Rings shit. And then I have, no, really, what are they eating? Clearly, I would be.
Like I said, they probably started eating berries and then hallucinated. The entire thing.
Then I was like, they come across the abandoned house. Oh my God, save me. Like this whole scene, it
shook me.
Shook.
I don't know if you've ever been into an actual haunted house, but I remember when I was maybe 13 or 14. No, maybe a little older. It was Passover, and my brother and my two cousins and I, we went to this place that he knew about, and it was actually in Germantown. And it was this house. It was this huge abandoned mansion, very Addams Family-esque. Had like a wrought iron gate around it. We like hopped the fence. I remember like scraping my knee on like the point of the fence, or the wrought iron gate, and then we started like from the basement up, and there was. Like I refused to go in at first, and it was like this open basement. There was a pool outside, like full of leaves. My brother and my cousin go in, and there's this huge vulture that chases them out. And I'm like, okay, I'm good, I'm done. And they're like, no, yeah.
Holy fuck.
He still has a picture of it somewhere. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I have to ask him if I can send it to you. Yeah, because it really looks like something out of a horror movie.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's so scary. The whole anything abandoned, like I do love abandoned places and houses and like areas. I'm scared of them, but I love them. But this whole one, you see those like handprints of the kids on the wall.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's some shit, man. It's some creepy shit. And then they like hear Josh all around the house, like they think they hear him upstairs, like screaming, like "Help me!" Or I don't really know if you could hear what he's screaming, but he's screaming something. And then he like all of a sudden is like in the basement, and then Mike is like, "Come on!" He's like, "I can hear you. I'm coming to get you. I'm coming." And then just like dives in the basement, and then all of a sudden, like I love how the camera just like is on its side, like you don't hear anything. You don't even hear him scream. You don't even hear him like, "Oh my God!" Or it just literally is like silent camera down. And then you hear
like all you hear is that slip motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you hear her like, Mike, like screaming. And then she just goes down and it's like the same thing. And she's like, I think when she's like in the basement, she's like, oh my God. Like she's scared of like what she's gonna find.
Yeah, and then she sees like the back of him. He's just standing. He's just standing in the corner.
No, dude.
And then
it just drops.
And then she just drops. It's so intense.
Yeah, it's really intense. It's quite. I feel like it's quite impressive for a film to do so much without showing you anything.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it's
so
literally
like
just building this intense tension. You know.
what was it? So like the two directors, they were like, we want to bring horror back to the movie scene. So they were just like they were bored. They were quote unquote bored with every other horror movie that was going on at the time, and they
Yeah,
were
because they were all like Scream and
like,
like slashers and like Halloween, like big franchise
yeah,
stuff that
and they
most
were like,
people
even though
think
that's
of.
going good, it's not real enough.
Yeah, yeah, it's so fantasy. It's so yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. I mean, it's in the again the third one they explain it a little more where they're like, well, it's the witch that's like making all the different sounds and morphing her voices into the people that are missing, so you think it's them.
Oh, well, that's really intense. Like
But it's so intense. You're
that's
like,
much more of a like intense reason.
yeah. But it's like it tells you to like pay attention to everything and don't lose your cool, even though you want to,
Yeah, the less
because
the
you have to
better.
be smart if you want to survive the game, basically.
Yeah,
But
true.
I mean, in a lot of movies that you're now seeing presently, is like some monsters actually win. There's no guaranteed a good ending.
That's true.
Like there's no you don't always survive,
Yeah, I know.
and that's
That's
what
so
even makes
true.
it scarier.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so for the theme, mood, music, and fashion, I don't have too much. I mean, obviously, it's the woods, suburban mountain town in Maryland in the beginning.
Hmm.
That's pretty much what it looks like. The music, interesting enough that you only hear that one song on Josh's car radio,
Now I can't
and
even
that's like
remember
the
what the
only.
song
Yeah, I
is.
don't know who
It's
it
very
is.
it's a '90s band,
Yeah, I
obviously,
think so.
but
It's supposed to be 94, so it's probably
hmm
like some 90s indie band. I'll find out. And then it's the only time you hear any kind of music at all. And then the fashion is just like this is literally what people who go camping dress like now. Like it's not really that different. Like the clothes are very much like utilitarian for that reason that they're like jeans and like flannels because it's cold and it's what
beanies.
fall, right?
Yeah,
So
I said campfire realness.
yeah, I know. Campfire. I wrote Heather has super mom Levi's jeans
Oh my
though.
god, she's got like they're almost like the high waisted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they're like
with
mom
the
cut.
belt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very much a mom cut outfit. I was like, oh, that's like a Ross dress for less. Like felt pants, turtleneck suit. It's okay, like do your shit, man. But it's very 90s,
definitely.
very much 90s. Okay, so I have favorite scenes. What are your favorite scenes?
My
I
favorite
have
scene.
three.
Okay, so I've got two. My favorite scene is the Mary Brown scene. I mean,
She's in my worst scenes because she scares the fuck out of me.
she's very gauntly looking. She looks like Lurch with a wig. I mean, but she's. I mean, they even laugh about her like right after the interview. But it's exactly what I'm gonna say is like she's an actress. She wants everyone to pay attention to her. That's why
Mhm.
she's like kind of like forcefully stumbling herself and looks like she's like forgetting stuff. So that
Yeah.
when like Heather baits her like or like hands her off these words and she's like, "Oh, yeah, that's adding to it.
Yeah.
Keep going," you know?
Uh-huh.
So that's like one of my favorites. And then my second one was Heather's confession scene
Yeah,
where
that's on the
she is
too.
like bumped up like nose to the camera.
It's
Like you
good
can
though.
basically see her hair her nose hair. And
Mhm.
I love it because that's the only scene that's been parodied of that movie in a scary movie with
Oh,
oh
yeah.
my god, what's her face? Sherry O'Terry
Yeah,
from
where her
SNL.
nose is, like, it's, like
It's
dripping
gooing
out.
out. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
so
so
gross.
gross, but it's because it's so iconic.
Yeah, I wrote the confession scene too because I just like how she like takes ownership at that moment and is like literally her like
Yeah.
deathbed confession. Like
Oh,
I brought these people out here. Like I realized that like I'm gonna die. Like I realize and now like that's also one of the titles that I have for the movie is that or for the episode is either hungry and cold and hunted
oh yeah.
or I'm gonna die out here. Those were like the only two. I was gonna be it also I have another quick one that could be turn that light off, all lights off.
All lights off. All lights.
Yeah, but it's weird when he says it because he's like, turn that light up.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
and
okay.
he's like repeating it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. And
Um,
then also, okay, so yeah, my favorite scenes are like Heather drinking scotch in the motel in the
oh,
beginning, and she's like, I fucking hate scotch.
she like barely takes a swig
I
though,
know,
and she's
yeah.
like having these like facial like orgasmic like
Yeah,
weird.
she's
I'm
all
like,
like,
oh wow,
I hate
okay.
scotch. And then my other one is, aside from Heather's confession, my other one is that one I told you earlier where Josh like looks through the camera at her and he's like, I see why you like
Yeah.
this. It's like not like real reality. I like that part.
No, that's a great part.
Yeah, it's cool. What are my worst scenes? I'll go first with worst scenes with Mary Brown because she scares me. I also was maybe titled it was like a horse fur.
I like that.
Like maybe that's what I'll title it. It was a
and,
horse
and then
fur.
and then it was so funny because Heather's like, oh, so she was covered from head to toe. Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, she didn't say anything. But then,
But
like,
yeah, I only had
scared?
like one least favorite scene, and that was when they were ganging up on her. Like I told you, like I
Yeah.
just felt really bad for her at that moment. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked. I just wrote Josh isn't there. That freaked me out.
Yeah.
When like a whole person is missing, like no. Like that shit's real now.
Right.
Do you have any quotes?
Oh no. Um.
I just have one that Mike said. He said, "No redneck is this creative."
Oh,
When
that's true. Yeah, I
they
didn't
thought
know
it was
that.
like
Yeah.
they thought it was like a townsperson. They were like, maybe these townies are just fucking with us. And he was like, no. It was when they were at that stick yard, and he was like, no redneck is this creative.
And it's not a quote really, but I love the townswoman that they interview with with the sunglasses and the baby, and the
Oh, I know,
baby's like
yeah.
constantly trying to shut her mom up. Like, no,
Yeah.
no.
She's like, no. And she's like, yeah, it is.
And she's like, "It's not real." It is.
It
It's
is real.
not real.
It is real. It's so funny. What are my most 90s moments? I think I already said them were like the camcorder that they used and the
The
fact that they were on a
walkie-talkie.
paper map.
The walkie-talkies too are very old school.
Do they have walkie-talkies?
Mhm.
Where?
I mean, I don't think they really used them, but they had them like on their person.
Oh, no
Very like
way.
old, yellow and black.
Oh, like the satellite. If they had those, then those were like satellite phones. Why weren't they calling for help?
I don't know. They use it's so funny because like they use that in the third one barely, but
You're like you're all into that third one. I'm gonna
I'm
have to
sorry.
watch
It's
it
just
just to
it's just
see.
because it's fresh in my head.
Well, no, the second one was such bullshit. I'm gonna watch the third one because that one like is supposed to be right after this one, right?
Yeah, but I did say another '90s moment was the neighborhood that they start off in. It's
Oh yeah,
very '90s looking, if that makes sense. Like it's
yeah, it's
very like
true.
what was Fred Savage's first show as a kid?
Wonder Years.
Wonder Years. It was very Wonder Years neighborhood.
It totally was.
You know, I mean, it was
Like, it
very
totally was.
fast glimpse of it, but it was like a round cul-de-sac-y kind of thing, or I think it was. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it was like a very typical like Maryland suburb that
Um,
I know of. Yeah, that I can think of.
but
It's so funny.
I did like almost like a "Where Are They Now" section as
Oh
well.
yeah. Oh, where
Yeah.
are they now? I've
So
seen the guy before.
with Josh,
Josh.
Josh
Yeah.
was in Bates Motel.
Oh, that show.
Don't know who he was. It just listed a bunch of random stuff like United States of Terror from long
Yeah.
ago with Tony Collette. He has like 88 credits of movies, TV series, and shorts.
Oh wow. He's
But
married to Allison Pill. She was in Horror Story. She was in Cult.
which one did she play?
She was married to Sarah Paulson.
Oh,
Ivy.
yeah. Oh, wow.
He's married to her. Yeah, in real life.
Mike was in like a couple episodes of Without a Trace, and then like some other crime shows.
Oh, okay.
Heather grows medicinal marijuana, has written
No
books
way.
about it, and then was in remember the movie Taken?
The one with Liam Neeson?
Yeah, and they made like 3 of them. Well, apparently
Yeah.
they made like a mini TV series a
What?
couple years ago. I never saw it, but she was in a couple episodes of that.
Oh wow.
And then It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh,
which I've never actually seen, but
you
that
haven't? Oh,
has
dude,
what,
it's
Danny
so
DeVito
funny.
in it, right?
Yeah, Danny DeVito's in it. Yeah, but it's so funny.
That's what I keep
And it's
hearing.
had so many seasons. It's had like 15, but they're all still so ridiculous.
We started watching Schitt's Creek the other day.
Yeah, it's not my bag. I've tried to watch it,
It's
but
hilarious.
yeah, not a fan of it. What
Um,
else? Oh, I finished The Great.
how did you like it?
It was good. I liked it.
It's
Yeah, I liked it.
anyone who's listening. It's a fantastic depiction.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a sad depiction, but it's like dry humor, and
yeah, it's really funny about like
yeah, I
Catherine
think
the
everyone
Great.
should watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's on Hulu. It's pretty good.
Um,
Something else I was watching. Oh yeah, I'm just about to start the last season of The Strain.
I still need to watch.
No, dude, it's good.
I think you have to like hold me at like gunpoint, or no, I'm kidding.
No,
Like,
it's really good though. It's not bad. Like you could watch it.
no, I
Like,
know, because I saw
you
the
watch
first
it.
two, and I thought they were great.
Yeah, three is good. Four is crazy because it's like the end and it like a lot of shit happens, but it's really good. And then I'm watching season 4 of Buffy because I always like skip it over, and I was like, all right, let me watch this full season to see like if I'm missing something. And like, God, I hate Riley.
We're in the middle of season 2 right now, I think.
Oh, season 2 is so good.
Oh yeah,
Season 2 is so good.
with the
Like
introduction of Drusilla and
Angel, the teacher,
well, Angel was always
Calendar.
in it, but yeah.
Yeah, oh, Spike.
Oh, poor Miss Calendar.
I know, poor Miss Calendar.
She
I
was the
know.
first like on-screen death of Buffy that I really was like emotional about.
Yeah, I kind of was too. And I was also very emotional when Angel in like end of 2 when she had to like send it to hell. That was like a very like I was like, oh no. All right, we're not doing a Buffy podcast. We should. I mean, God, I would love to. There are a lot because it's obviously a huge deal. I listened to a podcast with James Marsters. Michael Rosenbaum has a podcast from Smallville.
Smallville?
Yeah,
like
and they wrote a novel together. So he has tons of celebrities on, but not like A-list, like people from like TV shows that we grew up on, like from the WB. And they talk about like their industry, and like it's really funny hearing James Marsters talk about like his time on Buffy.
So he's actually like American, right? He's not.
Yeah, he's from California. He's really good at accents, though.
That's
Yeah,
so funny.
yeah, it's cool. But
yeah,
I'm so glad that. Do you have any more notes?
I don't actually. That was it. But I know
cool.
there's so many websites just like with fan theories and just like some more about like the two directors. Like they went on to do other fake, should I say fake
like,
stories,
like documentaries,
like mockumentary.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess is that a real thing? Mockumentary.
I guess,
Yeah.
right? That's usually more funny though. It's usually not as
true,
like
yeah.
serious.
So they made like more stuff, especially I think with the Michael guy.
Oh, Michael Williams.
Michael Williams, yeah. I just didn't write the titles. Like they made like 3 or 4 more.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So they're still like out and directing stuff.
Nice.
which is cool. I mean, but for this little indie film to get so super blown, and their whole advertising that these people are like actually dead or missing is just
Crazy.
it's pure genius. It's scary as shit because you're like, those are some sick fucks, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really
and looking at it as an adult, I'm just like I told you from the beginning, like I love doing these podcasts with you because I just find out so much more about all these different movies that I never knew about.
It's cool, especially with ones that you like, you know?
Yeah. And because of you, I blame you for watching the third one. Just kidding.
I know, right? I'm going to have to watch it. We're not going to talk about it, but I'm just going to have to watch it so we can talk about it. We're not going to.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely, I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, not worth doing a podcast.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm trying to think of like what our next one will be, if it'll even be horror. I think I want to do like a fucking action movie because I really like action movies too. But
And do you like any of the Terminators?
yeah, I was gonna do T2. That's on my list.
We could do T2 if you want.
We do T2.
I mean, that was honestly like my favorite one out of all.
Yeah, that's the best one. Yeah.
I mean, like the last one, what is it, like Revelations or something, where
I
they're,
don't
they're
know. I
older.
stopped watching it. That's the one Nick Stahl's in. He's not in the
No, no, no,
latest
no, no,
one,
not
but
that
he's
one,
in,
not
like,
the
the
last
third
one.
one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not the latest one, no, but he's in, like, the third
The
one
third one,
or, like,
yeah.
fourth one or something.
But the last one where it's like Linda, what's her name?
Hamilton. That's
Linda
right. She's
Hamilton. Like
back.
they're older. Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it. Like they're fantastic though.
Yeah, but
They
she's
kick
ripped
ass.
still.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
Yeah, she's, like, ripped still. It's
Totally
crazy.
ripped.
She's
Yeah.
so badass, though.
Oh yeah. Like I feel like if I were to make a kick-ass woman's movie, like it would be
Her and, like, Angelina.
her, Jamie Lee Curtis,
Charlize.
Angelique. Yes.
And,
It
like,
would
Lupita. And that girl from Black Panther, what's her name? She was, like,
good
the
Peter
head of the
Fonda or
army.
whatever. Oh,
No,
her.
she was, like, the head
Yeah.
of the army in Black Panther. She
Remember
was, like,
her.
she had, like, no hair. She was so
That,
dope.
yeah. Oh,
She's so
she's
dope.
pretty. She's
Yeah, I
pretty.
can't wait for Black Panther 2. I feel like it's gonna be so good.
So many different rumors surrounding that. Like they're supposed to introduce Storm and what?
Are they gonna do it?
Yeah, they're supposed to do it, but I mean, it's all rumors right now.
Damn.
So it's like
Virus, man.
there's all these other different people that are supposed to be in the role of Storm. Like Beyonce is interested.
For X-Men?
Yeah, but what they're gonna do instead of just completely doing an X-Men movie, they're slowly introducing them in different
Different Marvel.
MCU parts. Yeah, like someone's going to be in Black Panther, like I said, with Storm. Someone's going to be in supposedly the Black Widow.
Can you imagine if Beyonce is like?
I can't. I mean,
I could not see that.
She's a great singer, great dancer.
But I can't see her as
performance skill, like on-screen skills. Like the one movie that I did like with her in it was when she was kicking what's her face's ass in Obsession.
Was it
Alan Larder?
Yeah, Ali Larder. Yeah. Over Idris Elba.
Oh yeah, that was him.
Is he the guy?
It was bigger, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I would have totally fought someone over him too.
He lost so much mad weight over the years.
Yeah, he's so hot though.
Yeah.
I love him. Well, we've reached the end of our show. I don't want to keep everyone here, but I hope you enjoyed our little chit chat.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, it was so fun. Like and subscribe. Leave us 5 stars on Apple. And we will see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.